As parents, we sometimes set limits or boundaries with our kids, our partners, even our friends or our colleagues at work, and then we struggle to keep them. I recently shared a video on how to set and maintain micro boundaries as a parent using some expert and proven tips, and the response has been amazing. In that video, we covered the first 6 tips that can make a huge difference in how calm, and confident, and consistent you feel as a parent. We're continuing with the rest of the tips in today's video. So if you haven't watched it or if you haven't watched the part one yet, I suggest you check it out first so you can have the full picture. But if you're ready, let's jump straight into the video. Hello, live learners. Welcome back to my channel. And if you're new here, thank you so much for stopping by. My name is Chinoe, and the seventh tip on my list is for you to be consistent, even when it is hard. Consistency is the backbone of any boundary. If you only stick to your limits sometimes, your children and people around you can quickly learn that they just need to push a little harder next time to get what they want. It's human nature and we test the rules to see where the cracks are. So if you said something like, oh, no snacks before dinner, but you give in when they pout or when they flash those puppy eyes, you're teaching them that rules are negotiable and that persistence will pay off. If you set a no work email after 8 p.m., but keep sneaking, let me just give one reply, at 10 p.m., you're telling yourself and people around you that your boundary is not serious. Inconsistent boundaries will create confusion, and your children will start wondering, does mom or dad really mean it this time? People around you will start assuming that you will eventually say yes. When you are consistent, people will learn to respect your word because they know it doesn't bend under pressure. The eighth tip on my list is for you to acknowledge feelings but still keep the boundary. It's okay for someone, whether it's your child or your partner or your friend, to feel upset about a limit that you have set. Your job is not to erase that feeling. Your job is to listen and still stay firm. When people feel heard, they are less likely to fight that boundary, even if they don't like it. I know you are disappointed that you can't play outside right now, and but it's still homework time. I understand that you are frustrated that I can't help tonight, but I need to rest. See, as much as their feelings are valid, the boundary is also valid too. The next tip on my list is that you don't need to over explain or debate your boundary. It's fine to give a quick reason, but repeating yourself over and over usually turns into negotiation, and that's how boundary will fade away. Say it once clearly and simply, and then stick to it. We are leaving the park now because it's getting dark, and then you actually leave. I won't be able to join the meeting. My schedule is full. No extra justification. The more you explain, the more it sounds like the boundary is up for discussion. The 10th tip on my list is to set boundaries ahead of time when you can. When people know what to expect or what is coming, they will have time to adjust and you avoid surprise or resistance. After this episode, screen goes off. Instead of you snatching the remote while they are still watching the show. I will be leaving the party once it's 9 p.m. so I can go and rest. See, a little warning will make the boundary feel less like punishment and more like part of the plan. The 11th tip on my list is for you to only set boundaries that you know you can stick to. That is, you are realistic about your boundary. If you keep making rules that you cannot follow through on, people, whether your children or adults around you, will stop believing that you mean what you say. Instead of saying no more snacks after dinner and then you give in when they beg, you set a boundary that you know you can hold, like no sugary snacks after dinner, but you can have fruits or you don't. That way you are still firm, but you are not setting yourself up for a fight that you are likely to lose. So instead of saying, oh, I'm not answering calls or emails after 5 p.m., when you know that your job will require after hours replies, you can say, okay, I will only answer urgent work emails after 5. Everything else will wait until tomorrow. See, this keeps your limits firm while also leaving room for real life expectations. Experts say that realistic boundaries work because they align with your actual capacity and your situation. That makes them easier to stick to, and it also makes people more likely to respect them. The 12th tip on my list is for you to remember that boundaries are not just for children, they are also for you. Boundaries are not only about guiding your children's behavior, they are also about protecting your time, they are about protecting your energy, your emotional well being. If you keep saying yes and yes to every request or interruption, you will slowly run yourself down. And when your energy is running on fumes, you end up being snappy, distracted, or just too tired to enjoy the moments that really matter to you. It's okay to let your kids know that I can play with you after I finish eating or after I finish doing what I'm doing. And actually, when you finish what you are doing, you make yourself available. You're teaching them that you matter too, and that waiting is also part of life. Child development specialists and family therapists, they agree that when parents model healthy boundaries for themselves and for their children, children are more likely to respect or to learn self-respect, learn patience and balance. In psychology, this is called modeling behavior. Kids pick up habits by watching how you treat yourself. So by protecting your own energy, you also protect your patience. That means you can show up with a calmer, more present version of yourself, which in turn will benefit your children. The last tip on my list is that boundaries are not set in stone. They can evolve. Boundaries are more like doors. They protect you, but you can open them or adjust them when life changes. As your kids get older, your job changes, your daily routine also changes. So some rules will need to be updated. The important thing is to change them on purpose, not because you are tired or you want to avoid an argument. When your child was younger, maybe bedtime was 8 p.m. Now that they are older and they have more homework, you can decide, okay, 8:30 is fine, 9 p.m. makes more sense. This change is your choice, not because they complained until you give in. When you review and adjust your boundaries on purpose, they keep working for you instead of against you. And people around you learn that boundaries can be flexible, but they are still taken seriously. Boundaries should grow with you, but any change should be a decision, not an accident. And that's it for today's video. I would love to hear your thoughts. Which of these tips will you try first? Share them with me in the comments. Please don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, because here I share simple real life tips that help you enjoy your parenting journey without stress. So trust me, you will love it here. As always, thank you for watching. Keep learning one day at a time, and I will see you in my next video. Bye for now.